Hi, Bothered Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. We got to talk a little bit about NFTs because it seems a lot of people don't understand how they work. And no, I'm not a crypto bro, but it is so very clear that this is a scam, and so we're going to just go into it real quick. Or well, I'm hoping it'll be quick. So we're not even really going to go into like the history of NFTs and why it's often referred to as like this generation's tulip mania. But we just need to know that in a great many cases, this is basically a form of money laundering. And it's also just kind of getting very ridiculous. So for example, just last month on October 26th, a single Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT sold for $3.4 million at Sotheby's natively digital 1.2 online auction, the first held on its newly launched Sotheby's Metaverse Marketplace. And more relevant recently, just a few days ago, we had the news that the Metaflower Super Mega Yacht was successfully sold for 149 Ethereum, approximately 650,000 USD, by a metaverse developer. On like the whole like Facebook metaverse, it was just some digital sandbox and an NFT, a digital NFT like model within that sandbox sold for actual real money to the tune of $650,000. And then also recently, I guess we can't talk about NFTs without talking about the following account. There's a pro NFT account that went viral very recently for a very long thread, 147 tweets in total. We're only going to go through the first, I think, 10 or so because they're worth it, but also just like, wow. So let's begin. All right, it's time to talk about the promising future of NFTs because you know what? I'm tired. I have been browsing Twitter for the past couple days looking at the NFT landscape and economics. I have seen many people promising money for everyone, so I bought an NFT for $186,000. I had to take a loan, but eventually someone will buy it for $500,000. So of course it's worth it, but now I have found the other side of NFTs. There are many good-for-nothing villains out there saying that it's a bubble without understanding how they work. So many people who are jealous of the success of NFTs and find joy in screenshotting, right-clicking, saving, or whatever form of stealing NFTs they can find. And not only am I now a right-click victim, but even my wife is against me. She left to live with her parents, and she has been talking about custody of our 2 children. I can't believe this. The love of my life may actually be thinking about divorcing me because she cannot understand the business of the future. I tried to explain it to her. It's not just an image, it's an investment. I buy it for $186K, someone else buys it from me for $500K. The previous owner gets money and the next owner will also get money when someone else buys it for a higher price. But she doesn't understand. This is nothing like the tulip mania. If you actually understood what you were talking about, maybe you would see the differences. But she doesn't care. All she's thinking about is divorcing me and getting custody of our children because of my shitty financial decisions. She doesn't understand that it's not a joke. This is a real investment, just as valid as Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, and whatever other companies Wall Street is dealing with. You buy stock, then someone else buys the stock for a higher price. Simple. But NFTs are even better because they are non-fungible tokens. Stocks are all the same. It doesn't matter which ones you have, but NFTs are the future because they are all unique. They can have artistic value, sentimental value, historic value, etc. that normal stocks or currencies cannot. Jealous people seem to enjoy turning us NFT bros into right-click victims, but I will not stand for this. I will show my wife how wrong she is, thinking it's right to divorce me for buying an NFT for 186K. Mark my words, for this is not the end of NFTs, but the beginning. A new era of currency where we will not be oppressed by the government and there will be no poor people. Oh boy. So yeah, just 10 tweets in and it's already very yikes. Dude clearly doesn't understand how stocks work, so, like, I'm really hoping that that whole thing and that account and everything is just some kind of weird form of parody or performance art, because if not, holy shit. So, yeah, those are just some wild stories, and again, I'm really hoping that account is a parody because they clearly don't understand how stocks work and also how NFTs work. And that's actually at the crux of what we're going to get to. Most people, except for those at the very top, scamming people out of millions and laundering this money, those people know what they're doing. Most people engaging in dealing with NFTs don't know what they're doing. And that brings us to the absolute highlight of this story. So, back on November 18th, an Australian man pirated all NFTs on Ethereum and Solana. A 17.96 terabyte archive containing the screenshots of every single non-fungible token minted on top of Ethereum and Solana has appeared on torrent site Pirate Bay. That article doesn't have much, but like if you just Google around a bit, you will see this man's actual quotes about why he did this, which is basically he wanted to preserve this for future generations to study this generation's tulip mania. The reason why this is hilarious is because the NFTs themselves are not actually stored on the blockchain. According to Rhett Larson, this article is actually wrong. The whole thing is actually far more genius. It actually gets the images from the NFT itself by decrypting the URL that links to the image. So it's the tokenized copy of the image. Which, as someone with the handle Literal Cyanide said, oh my god, they funged the tokens. The tokens are not non-fungible. All because, and this is why a lot of people don't actually understand NFTs, the NFT is not actually stored on the blockchain. What the blockchain produces is a link to the image, and so that's what you're really getting. You're not even getting an image, you are getting a URL so that you can then have like one of those just grotesquely ugly things that they call NFTs now. So you're not even getting an actual like non-fungible token, you're just getting theoretically what's supposed to be a non-fungible link. Here's the problem with that. According to a different article that explains how NFTs work, the most famous art NFTs such as CryptoKitty or CryptoPunk use all similar techniques. All those images are hosted on external servers and they're not on the Ethereum blockchain itself. Metadata and the NFT are not one. Rather, your NFT, the digital asset itself, includes a link that points to the metadata, which lives elsewhere online. If you're a regular internet user, you know that sometimes links die. Cue the infamous 404 page not found webpage. Hosting platforms don't exist forever, and if your NFT exists on a regular website, you could potentially lose it along with all the associated value if that site shuts down for any reason. Wow! So yeah, not only are people investing in NFTs not actually getting NFTs, they're just getting URLs mined and like produced by the blockchain or whatever. And so the image, as this Australian absolute mad lad did, was he basically just pirated the actual supposedly non-fungible tokens, meaning they were entirely fungible because at the end of the day, the image, the supposedly non-fungible token, is just a URL on a website that could be taken down at any moment. Again, I really hope that earlier account was parody and that's not a real person who spent $186,000 on an NFT and doesn't understand stock market or the NFT market. Which, I guess, that's where we end this on. The NFT market is so clearly a scam, but it's got all these people buying into it and shuffling all this big money around, which is really just a form of money laundering. That's all that's happening here. But as a byproduct, it's generated a lot of this, intrigue and support. What are NFTs? I want to get in on this. And yeah, that's why some people are referring to it as a new tulip mania, because everyone just wants in on it without fully understanding what it is. It's basically money laundering with an extra scam on the side to bilk people out of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Like, again, I cannot stress this enough. If you purchase an NFT because it's been mined using a blockchain on Ethereum or Solana, you're not actually getting a, unique one-of-a-kind image. What you're getting is a URL that hosts an image, and that is entirely piratable. So all this is hilarious, which I think we all needed a bit of a pick-me-up considering how dark the Sunday sum-up was. But at the same time, the other aspect of this comes from the fact that this person, this Australian, did this as a kind of study for future generations. And as some people have pointed out, this whole NFT craze and, mining with blockchains, etc., is incredibly destructive to this environment. Future generations are going to look back on this and say, wow, what the fuck? They literally destroyed and ruined the planet for this terrible art and they didn't even understand what was going on. Oh my God. That's assuming we still have access to this and to the internet in the generations to come after the resource wars that are going to happen, especially if we continue down our path of just wasteful spending and creation and pollution. That's what the future holds, and they're going to look back on this time with utter disdain, and I can't blame them, but it is absolutely what's bothering me today.